What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. So apparently in Britain, right, the UK, the former head colonizer of the planet, right, they're having a little issue, right? They're not diversified enough, especially in the rural areas, right? So you have the quintessential liberal white woman, right, and black people with balls of steel coming out their mouth in the UK saying, you know what, the rural areas of Britain is not diversified enough. We need to diversify the rural area, the villages of Britain. It's too white, right? They're saying that Britain is too white. And currently, the government right now plans on moving a whole bunch of Africans and Arabs into the countryside, right? To the point, listen, it's so extreme, right? That there's talk of eliminating dogs. Y'all know white people love their dogs. How you gonna take the dogs away from the white folk, right? Simply because the Muslims don't like dogs. Can you believe that? They are capitulating to the entire world, right? To the detriment of the indigenous population of Britain, all right? Which is absolutely insane. Now, these white folks, are rightfully so upset about this. They're saying, hey, it's supposed to be Britain for the Britons, right? This is supposed to be white land. Why are we allowing these people to come and genocide us? They feel like they're being genocided, right? They don't understand how these people think they got the right to come into their country, their homeland, and take over the place. They just, for the life of them, they can't fathom why. Why? Right? Now keep in mind, these are the same group of people who went all over the world and did exactly that to other people. This is literally their chickens coming home to roost, like legitimately. Like, I'm pretty sure that the Aboriginals of Australia was thinking, hey, these white folk, all right, coming in here, all right, and they're changing the demographics of our land. These white folks are coming in here, right, and they're genociding us, taking over everything we got, stealing our culture, and, we don't like it. I'm sure that's what they thought. I bet you them Africans in South Africa thought exactly the same thing. Like, hey, these white folks coming in here, moving into place, stealing our culture, stealing our shit, talking about this is their shit, right? I bet you them West Africans, my ancestors was wondering, these white folks just coming here, stealing all our shit, destroying all our stuff, genociding us, and then stealing us to go do work for them because they too goddamn lazy to do it, right? I bet you that the Native Americans thought exactly the same thing. Damn, these white folks coming up in here, stealing our shit, pretending to be us, creating governments that don't belong to us, subjugating us to their white Western laws. I bet you the goddamn Tasmanians, oh yeah, that's right, they don't exist because they were genocided completely by those white people. If they were alive today, I bet you they were like, damn, these white folks came here, stealing our shit, pretending to be us, just making up their own rules and shit. I bet you those goddamn freaking, what we call those Polynesians and those Hawaiians, I bet you they feeling the same goddamn way, right? I mean, if you really think about it, right? Every place that speaks English had to deal with these same white folk just moving up in there like Loki, being tricksters, right? Accepting the hospitality of the indigenous population and then taking advantage and taking everything for themselves, being greedy, savage barbarians. And now all of those global chickens are coming home to roost. You can't just go to other countries, destroy their shit, take their resources to make your white European Wakandas and expect these people not one day to come and enjoy the things that was built off the backs of their ancestors. So I'm just finding it hilarious that these white folks have the audacity to complain about their homelands being taken over. They should be lucky they're not being murdered. How about that? They should be lucky they're not being genocided. They're getting their arms cut off. They're not getting raped. They should be lucky. And don't tell me about the criminality or the whole culture of Europeans have been nothing but criminals. All they do is put on suits and give themselves official titles to make it seem like it's manifest destiny. They open up a book and then play pretend to justify their evil, savage, Neanderthal, barbaric ways. But now their chickens are coming home to roost, and I'm here for it. Cock-a-doodle-doo, this bitch. Anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach them. I'm out. I say now.
Long. But I watched the first minute of it, I was just infuriated, absolutely infuriated. So as you'll be aware, the British government has decided that the Department for Agriculture and Rural Affairs, whatever it was called, has decided that the British countryside, as in England, as in the Shires, as in where the English live and come from, has been white for far too long. It's just been white, and this is a problem. It needs diversity. And so the British government are planning to insert foreigners into the English countryside, because apparently we are just not allowed to have our own country. We are not allowed to just live among ourselves and be normal. Now, every other country, like there's no one in Uganda or, Papua New Guinea or wherever, Guyana or whatever, saying, no, you need more white people here. You need more or more Chinese people here. No, we're gonna have a drive to diversify your towns and villages and cities. We've lost the cities, and so what follows from this? And so the question is, okay, well, what could we use as the model template for this? Well, I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't use the cities of England as the template. This is what it's going to look like, where the English become a minority in their own cities and also in the shires as well, in the countryside. So, okay, I don't want that, actually. I want England to remain English, and I want it to be where we live, and I don't want to have infinite numbers of foreigners imposed upon us to ruin the way that things are going or have previously gone for 1,000 years more and more. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think the cities have been improved through diversity. I think they're actually terrible. I think the people who live there aren't taking care of them. I mean, if Birmingham is an example, London's an example, like Manchester, wherever you want. But moreover, why do these people have a claim to our country? Like, this is where we live, in the way that we want to live, and they have countries of their own. It's like, no. The government's like, no, we're gonna inject them into where you live. It's like, sorry, we are already in our 5 largest cities the minority. 37% in London, 33% in Luton, 42% in Birmingham, 33% in Leicester. Like places like this, it's like, well, sorry, hang on, that would be described as ethnic cleansing in any other time and place. And like I did in my video the other day on my Sargon channel, this is using demographics as a weapon. Like, the express intent that this guy gives is that the demographics are a weapon. No, we're coming for your shires, is what this guy, whoever he is, has said. Let's watch this.
Do you think this is a good thing? Do we need to diversify the countryside?
I think absolutely. It's been white for far too long.
What do you mean white for far too long? Has Africa been black for far too long? Has China been Chinese for far too long? This is our country. This is where we come from. What do you mean white? What entitlement do you have to our country? You're obviously going to be a Caribbean man. What are you doing here? Like, is the Caribbean, has that been black for far too long? Has it? Does that need more diversity as well? Like, what are you talking about? No, this is, again, using demographics as a weapon. You looking at this area and saying, oh, right, this is where the white English live. We need to intrude. We need to invade. It's an imperial mindset. It's a colonialist mindset. I'm absolutely disgusted by this. How dare you? How dare the British government? What are we going to do, folks? Like, what are we going to do about this? If you think living in a homogenous area where everyone comes from the same group, so they kind of think the same things, they have the same basic assumptions about the universe, they think in similar political terms, and they behave in ways that become predictable and reliable, and so make us feel safe in the place that we're in. If you think you have an entitlement to that, well, this person doesn't. That you've had that for far too long. He's here to ruin that for you, and he's going to be using the aid of the British government to do it. This is absolutely disgraceful.
And the reason I'm not saying it, I'm saying it from the perspective that we have police officers that come from those particular areas, and when they come into built-up areas like London and seeing some how diverse it is, they really can't hack it.
When you move to this country as a foreigner, what kind of police officers do you expect to see in England? Are they English police officers? And is it not remarkable when you see, oh, they're not English police officers? But isn't that incredible angle? Oh, well, rural police officers, when they come to London, can't hack it. Okay, don't care. Don't care, not my problem. I don't care if London's a lawless hellhole, which they keep claiming it's not. But why do they need to recruit? Like, the police force in London is disproportionately English as well. Weird, that, isn't it? But no, that's a terrible argument. I don't care. I don't care about that. That's your problem. That's not our problem. And yet you're like, yeah, so we're going to make this your problem now because you haven't acclimatized to the colonists that have arrived in London. It's like, well, are we going to take this? Are we just going to let this happen forever, are we? Is this just the way things are going to be? We're just going to slowly but surely have their demands made upon us, and we'll be like, well, I guess we've got to lose more of our country. I guess the shires have got to be diversified now. I guess your street has to be diversified. What about your own house? Like, where does it end? Where do they not have an entitlement to? Seriously, this is honestly disgusting.
I feel by having people of various colours in the countryside would lessen the fearfulness that they have.
Don't care. Don't want you there.
Around immigration.
We've never wanted immigration. And I don't think that jamming the countryside full of foreigners is going to make people want immigration even more. I don't know whether you've noticed, but the reason that these cities have become majority minority is because the English are like, look, I just didn't want to live like this. I never asked for this. We never asked for these people to come here. And yet the government keeps piling them in like a fucking clown car. And I'm just going to move out to the shires then because they live in the cities and they don't live out here. So I'm moving up there. And you're like, yeah, no, we're going to have to chase you even there. Because what's wrong? What's wrong? Why do you need to recruit English police officers to police in minority areas? Because these places turn to absolute crap. That's why. You're not happy. You're not happy. And what you're saying is essentially, I'm desperate to live around the English. I'm desperate to have English governance over me. And I'm at the point where I'm like, no, I don't want anything to do with you.
And it could only be better for the country.
Come on, Kenny. So you're saying that police officers come in there and they go, oh, my God, loads of people of colour. And where did you get the evidence for that? Seriously, Ken? That
Well, I mean, he said, I feel. So he doesn't have any evidence for this.
doesn't sound...
But the problem is, even if he did have evidence for it, it's not a compelling argument as to why we should give up our country. It's not a compelling argument as to why all of the foreigners that we've ceded the cities to should also have the shires as well. It's just not compelling at all. The English people possess the shires. That's how it currently is. And that should be taken into account by our government. They should be like, oh, right, well, we don't want to disturb that. Because these people deserve to have a place to live. They deserve to have a place of their own. And the British government is instead saying, no, we need to take that away from them. We need to give that to foreign peoples. This is literally what the plan is here.
Right, I mean, I don't think that's a good enough reason why you would sort of socially engineer an area when you're living in a country that is, well, 80-something% white. So
the country is not that white. That's from the 2021 census. But moreover, that also includes the Europeans living here. So that includes Romanians, for example, right? So we're about, in the 2021 census, about 74.5% English in England. It's got a lot worse because that's before the Boris wave. The Boris wave is another 4 to 5 million people. And even then, we don't know how many illegals there are here. It's entirely conceivable that instead of having 69.9 million people here, we're north of 80 million people. I mean, go outside, look around, go into any reasonably sized town or city in Britain, and you'll be like, wow, this is very diverse. But also, it's very crowded, right? There's a lot of people in these areas. And it didn't used to be like this. The rush hour in Swindon did not used to be nearly as bad as it is now. And it's just getting worse. And everyone knows it's getting worse. So I think these numbers are just flat out wrong. And they're like, right, okay, yeah, so the countryside then. Where else are these boils that are building up going to burst to?
what's the surprise that the countryside is full of more white people?
Yes, well, as I said, I'm also a community facilitator at the Hendon Police Academy. So I see these youngsters come in from outer London, and I see the prejudice or that they bring with them.
How is this not prejudice against the white people, though? How is this not being like, right, okay, well, you don't conform to exactly the stereotype that you should, the image in my mind that I have of you, and I don't like the way that you are.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.